Okay, so inshallah today we will do the VPC lab. I know many of the students asked me to do the VPC lab because we are going to have some kind of activity related to the VPC app. That's why many students asked me to do a recording for it. Okay, so we start by understanding what we are going to do, the scenario, the most important part. You should understand the scenario before starting the lab. We have a website, and this website a developer made this website, and he asks us, we are cloud practitioners, we are cloud specialists. He asks us to put his website on the cloud. He gave us the website into a URL, and he asks us to create a server on the cloud and put the website or deploy the website on the server. So our main objective here is to create a server virtual machine and then put the website on that virtual machine. Actually, as I told you before, we cannot create the virtual machine and put it in the air. We cannot put it like not hanging over. We have to attach it to specific thing, which is subnet. As we said before, we have a hierarchy. We have the main root is availability zone. We can raise the hierarchy up level. We can say region and then availability zones. Each availability zones has a collection of VPCs. Each VPC collection of subnets. Each subnet has a collection of virtual machines. So now we need to create subnets inside a VPC or inside the network. So we will create a network, we will create a virtual machine, and then we make this virtual machine a web server. This is our main objective. Of course, at the end, we will see the website. We deploy the website to make it live so people can see and log into the website and can, for example, if this website is for e-commerce, like they want to buy something from the website, they can do it. Okay, this is the main idea. The main idea of the lab is very important. Before starting the lab, you should be able to know what is the next step. Okay, so now we create the VPC. So we go there here, VPC, and click on VPC, and we start the VPC service. This is virtual private cloud, VPC. Create a network by using the VPC service, create VPC, and then click on VPC and more, and name this lab. And the CIDR block is the range of addresses of the private subnet. We leave it by default and then go to the number of availability zones. We need only one availability zone. Of course, you have to configure the availability zone, make sure it is A, not because we have 6 availability zones here. We have A, B, C, because with 6 availability zones, so start by A and end by F. Make sure that it's A. And number of public subnets, we have only one public subnet, and private subnet, only one private subnet. Then we will create another 2 subnets in another availability zones to make sure of redundancy. Make sure that because we have 2 availability zones, they are not in the same geographic area. So we create two subnets, one public and one private in one availability zone, and we create after that, after VPC, after finishing the VPC, we create another 2 subnets, one public, one private, in totally another other availability zone. Okay. So now for the NAT gateway, we need one NAT gateway because we are going to use private subnet. If we're using private subnets, we should use a NAT gateway. So we click on one in availability zone, and for the VPC endpoint, no need for VPC endpoint. And here, the configuration of the subnet is very important. We make it 24. Here also make it 24, but here we make it 1, and this make it 2. Okay, for example, 1 and 2. It's better to make it like doubles of the doubles of the number, for example, 1, 2, 4, 6, like this. So we have two availability zones, 1 and 2. The one is /24 and the second is /24. We have taken part of the CIDR block to make subnetting. We have taken the last this octet exactly. We have taken it and to make our sub. Okay. Now we are ready. Okay, we are ready to create. If you look at the right-hand side, you will see we have VPC, and the lab VPC. It has two subnets, one public and one private. You can see, and here each subnet has an attached route table or router. You can say it is a router. For the public, we have a public router, and for the private, we have a private router. And we have connections. If you want to connect to the internet, for the public, it should be connected through Internet Gateway. For the private, it should be connected through NAT gateway. Okay. This is mainly the first step to create two subnets. We created them, and then we start our creation. Uh, I think I have to pause I will pause the recording because it will be stay for long at 70%. So pause. Till it is finished, we can go to the website, the lab itself. We will see what we have done so far. We created two subnets here, the public and the private subnets, and we created a NAT gateway for the private subnet. By the way, we put the NAT gateway in the public subnet, not in the private subnet, even if it is needed by the private subnet to reach the internet, because it should have a public IP address. That's why we put it in the public subnet. And here we have the internet gateway. This is the connection to the internet. Actually, the first setup is here. This is the final setup. Actually, what we have done so far. Okay, let me see. This is what we need to do. And this is the current setup. This is the current setup. We created NAT gateway. We created NAT gateway, and then internet gateway. NAT gateway for the private subnet to connect to the internet. As I told you, it should be available in the public subnet because it needs a public IP address. We created the public subnet, we created the private subnet in availability zone A, and next we will go to availability zone B and create another two subnets. And inside this availability zone, we create our server and we attach our server to the public subnet in availability zone B. So the final setup should be something like this. This is the final setup we need. We create the server. This is an instance or server, web server 1, and we will make a security group or firewall for it. And then actually we created public subnet 2 and private subnet 2 before creating the instance and the corresponding security group. Okay, this is the final setup. Okay, let's go back. I think by now it should be finished. Yeah, it's finished. We go to view the VPC, and I will show you some interesting things. Subnets, we will see the subnets we have created. If you cannot see it, you can refresh. So this is the public subnet we created, and this is the private subnet we created. The route tables is like routers, okay? We also have public router and the private router. If you click on the public router and go to the routes, you'll find two routes. One is directing locally, means, or it says exactly like this. It says if the traffic is local, direct it to local. If it comes from local machine, direct it to another local machine, redirect it to another local machine. This is the second line. The second line is saying that the local traffic, pass it to traffic devices. But if the traffic is internet traffic, pass it to the internet gateway. This is the public. This is the idea of having a route table to direct the traffic from one path to another, from one place to another through a specific path. For the private subnet, we go to the routes. Also, we will have the same thing, which is local traffic goes local, and but for the public or the internet, for the internet traffic, it will go through the NAT gateway. This is the difference. So this is for the private NAT gateway, for the public internet gateway. This is the main difference, okay? We will need the two route tables when we create two subnets, because when we create the subnet, we have to attach them to specific to attach a specific route table to them. If we need this subnet to be public, we attach the public subnet, the public route table. If we need the subnet to be private, we attach the private route table. Okay. Okay, so expect there is one internet gateway which we have created. This is lab internet gateway. Also, we have here, we have security group. We don't have security groups. We will create security group later after creating the subnets. I think if we look at the left-hand side, we will see subnets. If we click on this subnets and we create a new subnet, go down and create, or up and create a new subnet. Select the lab VPC. And for this subnet, make it public subnet. Public subnet 2. Public subnet 2. Make it in availability zone B. Don't remember, we are creating the second availability zone. And for the saddle block, we make it 10 dot 10 dot 0 dot we have taken 1 and 2, we move to 4 and 8. So this is 4.0/24. This is the first subnet. We can add another subnet. We make it private subnet 2. Private subnet 2. Private subnet 2. Make in availability zone B. Make sure it is availability zone B. Okay? And then the second subnet should be 10.0. We have taken 1 and 2. We didn't take 0, but we can take it. 4 and 8. We also can use 0 is also possible, but because we started by 1, it's better to continue this pattern. So I make it 8.0/24. Okay? Okay. Nice. Create subnet. We create both subnets. Now we have a name, private subnet, and we have a name, public subnet, but they are not actually private or public, because we have written them. Nobody knows if they are public or private. You have written public, but if you change public to private, doesn't have any effect, because you have written them. But to make this private, actually private, we have to go to the route tables, to the private route table, and then go to subnet association and edit subnet association. You will find this subnet selected by default. You add the second one, which is private subnet 2. You have private subnet 1, now add private subnet 2 to the private route table. We do the same thing for the public subnet. This public, click on it, subnet association, edit subnet association, and then click on the public subnet 2. Now, public subnet 2 became actually a public subnet. Before, it wasn't public. It was just an empty subnet. Okay. Okay. Now we created our 4 subnets. If you see, we have the public route table has 2 subnets attached to it, and the private subnets has 2 subnets attached to it. If you click on one of them, you will see the 2 subnets. Also, if you click here, so you will see the attached public private subnets. Okay. Now we move to creating our instance. But before creating our instance, we have to create the firewall. We need we need people to access this instance. By default, everything is blocked. You have to allow the traffic, the HTTP traffic, to let people navigate to the website. So we go to the security groups to the left-hand side and go and create a new security group. And the name of the security group, allow HTTP traffic. You can copy and paste this like this. Okay, and select the VPC, the lab VPC. Okay, select the lab VPC, your lab VPC. You have to select well the lab VPC, because if you selected another lab VPC, you will not find. For example, you will find it for a component, you will not find it because you selected another VPC. You went into another room, so you will not find the same things in the other room. Make sure that you always select the lab VPC. Now, this is the security group, allow HTTP traffic, and we have 2 types of traffic. We have the inbound traffic and we have the outbound traffic. Actually, we will not touch the outbound traffic because usually if you travel to a country, they investigate your or they check your luggage. They check your luggage when you enter the country. But when you leave the country, the check is very light. I'm sorry, very light. They don't check you too much. But when you travel inside the country, you get into the country, they check your luggage intensively. Okay. So here we have the outbound rule is one, traffic is allowed everything, but for the inbound, no. It's coming to our instance or coming to our websites, we have to allow only one rule, which is HTTP. So we add rule here and HTTP and IP version 4. And that's it. You can write a description or not, doesn't matter. Always, we are going to add rule here, okay? We add rules here, always, okay? Don't touch this part. Create security group. Okay, we are ready now. We created our subnets, 4 subnets, and we created security group. And now we move to creating the EC2 instance. EC2 instance. The machine, the web server itself. Okay. Okay. Here, also make sure that we are in the same in Virginia, and Virginia has 6 availability zones. You can see all the availability zones here. Okay. 6 availability zones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. They are in the United States, in Virginia, and I show you before the availability zones, the availability zones, the availability zones, AWS globally, global infrastructure, something like that. I'm sorry. Okay, we can see it. Yes, we can see. Yeah, we can see it here. We can go, yes, we have it here. The N Virginia is this one. This is N Virginia. If you click on it, you'll find 6 availability zones and launched in 2006. And we go to the Middle East. Okay, we will have some interesting thing. We have the one for the Bahrain, which is older. The one for Bahrain. is having 3 availability zones, launched 2019, and the second one is in UAE and it's launched 2022. It also has 3 availability zones. But actually, you are in this area. We don't use these availability zones because it needs some kind of business. If you have business, because it's very expensive. But in Virginia, the 6 availability zones here for AWS, they make it for students and universities. So it's available 6 availability zones. Okay, so this is the availability zones around the world. You can check it online, and we have here 6 availability zones. Okay, we go to the instances. Okay, to the instances, go to the instances and create a new instance. You can refresh to make sure that we have only one instance related to the lab. We don't need it. We need our own instance. We click launch instance. We name it web server. Sorry, web server. Web server 1. Okay, web server 1. We select the AMIs, Amazon Machine Images. We select Linux. Make sure you select a free tier, so leave it default. An instance type, or the size of the instance. We have different type names like T, like M, like C for compute. We also have C9, C5. We have also C6, C7. This is for compute. Also, we have R. We have many names. Each name has different usage. So the most important thing, make sure that it's free tier. Go to the key pair and select for key. For the network, you have to attach this instance to a network. So edit the network and then select the VPC, lab VPC. And for the subnet, private, no, not private, public subnet 2. Public subnet 2. It's in availability zone B. And auto assign public IP address. This is very important so we can access online the instance online. The security group or the firewall, select existing security group and go allow and click allow HTTP traffic. And now we go to the most interesting part here is to go for the user data. The user data place is to put the configuration of this instance, the Linux instance, by putting some commands. For example, we have here the code, the Linux code, which we are going to use to create our instance. For example, this one, installing wget and all the needed server. And the second is to get the website from the link. Our friend, the developer, gave us the website in a link. So this is the link. And then extract or unzip the link or the data, or sorry, the folder to the www.html, which is the folder for a website. And then these 2 lines make start and make the service, the HTTP service live. Okay. And all this is the configuration we need. We don't need anything else. Make sure of your configuration again. Okay. Make sure that you don't miss anything. Then launch the instance. Okay. Now we go to the instances and make sure that is status check is 2x2. Okay, make sure it's 2x2. But anyway, no need to wait for the check if it is running. That's fine. You click on web server and then click on public DNS and copy this public DNS. We want to access this web server. Now we created the web server. We created it on the availability zone B, and it should be live now because it's running. So we have a website and the website is running. We want to see this website. So that's why we click here and new incognito window and put the link of the website, run, continue because it's not HTTPS. And this is, here we go. This is our website, okay? And we will understand this is our website. This is our friend's website. The developer gave us this one. We are simulating the number of accessing users, the number of connections of the user's connection or current access connection or current connected users using load test. Load test. Now it is 62, so you can click load test. It is going to be changed to be higher for 54, and then after a while it will be 100%. This means this means we have more and more users. In the future, this instance will not be sufficient. This instance will not be sufficient to our website. For example, if this is Talabat website, and we have offer and many users will come into this server, we can create a pool of servers, and then all of them, they are going to serve the website at the same time. And that's it for the website. Thank you very much, and happy weekend. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مع السلامة.